Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies, the surroundings of our North London allotment, and you join me in what's been a quite lovely autumnal afternoon. A bit cold, a bit fresh, there's been blue skies most of the time. Yeah, got on with a few things and picked a few things as well actually. It's things still going fairly strong. Obviously some things are finished because it's quite late now, but we've got other things going. So what have we got? We've got some kale there, this sort of curly kale, look. Another good load of that. We've got, I picked some horseradish as well, so I'm going to make some Bloody Marys with that, I think. Very nice indeed. Got some little pumpkins there. So we're going to make some soup with those, and the last of the pears. So yeah, that was the last one on the tree. It's finally come off, so yeah, they've been very nice. Some spinach as well, just a handful of spinach there, and also some other kale like purple kale and some Cavolo Nero just there. So yeah, lots sort of picked today. Feels quite fruitful. I guess it is sort of harvest time of the year and all of that, but while that's all very interesting, I'm sure most of you didn't tune in to hear about that. You tuned in to hear about some whiskey. And what is the Allotment Dram today, I hear you ask? Well, it's a bit of a classic, quite literally. It's the CRAGGANMORE 12 years old. There we are. So CRAGGANMORE 12 is from Speyside, and it actually represents the Diageo's classic malts. So they have 6 regional whiskies for the different regions, whiskey making regions of Scotland, and CRAGGANMORE 12 actually represents the Speyside region. So, you know, a very important region in the Scotch whisky industry. You know, over 50 of the 145 or so single malt distilleries are located in that one quite small area between sort of Aberdeen and Inverness, pulled in a little bit. So the others, you've got obviously CRAGGANMORE with Speyside, you've got Dalwhinnie for the Central Highlands, you've got Oban for the West Highlands, you've got Glenkinchie for the Lowlands, you've got Lagavulin for Islay, and then you've got Talisker for the Islands. So that's covering like all sort of the different regions and different styles of Scotch whisky, you know, from very smoky stuff in Islay to the quite light, quite fruity, quite delicate sort of lowland style. So as I say, Diageo Classic Malts showcases these regional styles, and that was first sort of conceived in 1988, so they've been around ever since, and CRAGGANMORE has actually been one of the constant members. It's always been available sort of within the classic malts range. So, you know, very sort of highly regarded whiskey, one we've not tried for a long time actually. So what else can I tell you very briefly before we get on to doing some tasting? Well, CRAGGANMORE was founded in 1869 by a gentleman called John Smith. It's near the village of Ballindalloch, right in the heart of the Speyside region actually. So yeah, it translates as big rock from local Gaelic. CRAGGANMORE is big rock, and it's predominantly bourbon cask, but there's a small percentage of ex-sherry cask sort of in the mix as well, and it's 40% and will cost you about £45 a bottle, so not too bad at all actually. But I think that's probably enough chat. And I should just tell you, there's a little robin just landed on the chair that I put the camera on here, just sort of staring at me here. So I'm hoping he comes around like this way so you can actually see it. So if I'm a touch distracted, it's because there's literally a robin redbreast sitting just the other side of the camera here. But anyway, this is why we love doing these allotment drams, because, you know, there's so, you know, what happens. It's all one take. You know, we see all types of things like bits of wildlife, people walking past, planes flying over, or whatever it is. But anyway, we should probably taste some whiskey, shouldn't we? It's quite enough of that. Oh, he's flown off over there now. He's sitting on something else. Right, so here we are, CRAGGANMORE 12. Right, concentrate. It's a lovely vibrant gold colour there. Just put that back a second. So let's just have a look. Right, there we are. Everything's safe and secure. Don't want any sort of spillages. So yes, very sort of bright, vibrant gold there. And Cragganmore is actually known, it's a little bit different from other Speyside, like the classic Speyside style, because it's a little bit more robust, and there's a tiny element of peat smoke in it as well, which you can detect. It's just very delicately sitting underneath there. But yeah, there's lots of sort of apple, sort of autumnal fruits like apple or the pear that we've got there. Maybe like a cooked apple though, like a baked apple. Some golden syrup, some sultana. Quite distinct maltiness as well. It's a bit biscuity almost. But yeah, very nice. And then that gentle, soft, elegant peat smoke just sort of wisping around just underneath. Yeah, very nice. Let's have a taste. So, just saying about that sort of slightly more robust nature, it has an almost oily, slightly viscous texture. Very, very interesting. But then this, particularly the maltiness, this malted biscuits, malted barley comes through, you know, particularly, you know, sort of strongly to start with. It's almost the first thing, and then the gentle peat smoke just sitting there as well. But then you have that golden syrup, maybe some like runny honey, big plump juicy sultanas, and that quite distinctive baked apple. It's definitely a cooked apple now, so like baked apple, apple crumble. You know, if you combine all those things, you maybe get apple crumble, like dessert or something. But yeah, very, very nice. Let's have another taste. Gosh, that's so good. Quite underrated, I think, Cragganmore. You know, not many people talk about it, even though it is part of the, you know, these 6 Diageo classic malts. But yeah, this is why we wanted to revisit it, because we've not had it for a long time. And just, you know, sort of reading something about it, and was like, yeah, we need to get a bottle and kind of, you know, revisit. I think it's always important to revisit some of these classic whiskies, you know, rather than just, you know, looking always for the next sort of bright new thing. But anyway, sort of now with this second taste, I'm getting a bit more dried fruit. There's some raisins, some candied orange. There's also a bit of nuttiness, and this must be coming from that small percentage of sherry cask. So it's like a hazelnut praline, something like that. And there's a bit of toffee, you know, like sort of toffee, those hard toffee sweets, sort of coming through, sort of towards the back there as well. Tiny little touch of spice, you know, like a baking spice, cinnamon, maybe cinnamon, you know, powdered ginger. Very, very nice indeed. Just gonna have one more final sip, I think. Very, very good. As I say, Cragganmore 12, very underrated. You know, decent price, £45. £45 for a bottle. So, you know, it's not going to break the bank. Yeah, you get quite a lot of money for quite a lot of whiskey for your money there, actually. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. Really glad we're revisiting that, and I'm tasting Cragganmore, because there's also a distiller's edition, which is matured in old port casks. It was finished, it's basically this, but then they put it into the old port casks, and that's absolutely delicious, because it has all of these elements, but then a little bit of richness coming from the port cask also. So yeah, try that out. It's not much more expensive either, maybe £10 more expensive. But yeah, so I think from myself and the Cragganmore 12, we will leave you to get on with whatever you were doing before you stumbled across this video. And we hope to see you again soon for another Allotment Dram. Thanks for watching, and cheers.